In this video, I will talk about what's happening in our bodies when we are fasting and how to improve insulin resistance. I'll start with a brief introduction about two important genes that are in charge of our health. These are the mammalian target of rapamycin, or mTOR for short, and AMP-activated protein kinase, or AMPK for short. mTOR is a sensor for nutrient availability, whereas AMPK is a sensor for nutrient scarcity. These genes are called master regulator genes because they control and coordinate groups of other genes. And in turn, we are in control of which one we activate by how we eat. We activate mTOR by inputs from insulin signaling when we consume carbs, or by insulin-like growth factors, together with amino acids which come from digested proteins. mTOR promotes anabolic pathways such as protein synthesis, cell growth, and division, while inhibiting autophagy, which is a cellular self-recycling process. I want to stress that autophagy is crucial to the optimal functioning of our cells. If the cells are unable to perform autophagy, damaged organelles and proteins accumulate and eventually start interfering with cellular functions, making us ill. And when mTOR is on, autophagy is put on hold. Therefore, we absolutely need to ensure that there are times when mTOR is off. And what can turn mTOR off? AMPK, of course. AMPK is activated when glucose or cellular energy gets low. AMPK puts protein synthesis and cell growth and division on hold and instead activates catabolic pathways, including switching the cells to burning fatty acids they have been storing. And at the same time, by repressing mTOR, AMPK allows for autophagy to resume. The simplest way to activate AMPK is by fasting. Let me quote UCSD research scientist Robert Naviu. In 2014, he wrote, "Historically, before the 1980s, most human nutrition research was focused on disorders of deficiency. After the 1980s, much of human nutrition research has been redirected to disorders of caloric excess. Indeed, many of the genes that have been found to guard against age-related diseases like diabetes, cancer, and heart disease are found to be winter genes coordinated by AMPK, while the summer genes coordinated by mTOR lead to chronic disease and inflammation when combined with caloric excess and physical inactivity." By now we know that calories per se do not cause metabolic issues, and one cannot fix metabolic issues by dieting. Dieting or chronic calorie restriction may help you lose weight, but it doesn't work to improve metabolism or make you healthy. And there is a smarter approach that some doctors are starting to recommend, which is periodic fasting. The key to avoiding the diseases of chronic nutrient abundance is to alternate between the AMPK dominant mode and the mTOR dominant mode. How do you do that? You activate your AMPK and repress mTOR by fasting for a short period of time, like 16 to 36 hours. And then you activate your mTOR and repress AMPK by feasting for a short period of time. And you go back and forth between these two modes. If you stay in one or the other mode for too long, problems happen. Prolonged lack of nutrients may lead to nutritional deficiencies and eventual starvation. But on the other hand, prolonged abundant nutrient consumption prevents your cells from engaging their self-recycling and self-regenerating functions. I want to show you one study that attracted my attention, where the researchers found that alternate day fasting, also known as ADF, helps improve insulin resistance, whereas caloric restriction does not. The name of the study is Differential Effects of Alternate Day Fasting versus Daily Calorie Restriction on Insulin Resistance. The study was published in 2019 and is available on PubMed. I will provide the link in the video description. The researchers recruited subjects with insulin resistance and divided them into three groups. The first group was the alternate day fasting group, or the ADF group. These subjects were instructed to consume 25% of their normal calories on the fasting day, followed by 125% of calories on their feasting day. They did this for the first 6 months, after which they were instructed to consume 50% of their normal calories on the fasting day, followed by 150% on their feasting day for another 6 months. The second group was the calorie restriction group, or the CR group. They were told to consume 75% of their normal calorie amount each day for the first 6 months, and then eat 100% of their calories for another 6 months. The third group was the control group. They were instructed to eat 100% of their calories as usual for the whole 12 months of the study. Now let's look at the results. First, weight loss. As expected, the control group maintained the same weight throughout the study, whereas the subjects in both the ADF group and the CR group lost substantial amount of weight, about 7 to 10% during the first 6 months, and they were able to maintain their weight loss for the following 6 months despite increasing their calories. There wasn't much of a statistical difference between the ADF group and the CR group in terms of weight loss, although ADF subjects did slightly better. Now, the surprising finding came when the researchers looked at insulin levels and at insulin resistance. Everyone in the study started with high fasting insulin levels, and they all had insulin resistance. By the end of the study, the ADF group had a whopping 50% reduction in their fasting insulin and a similar 50% reduction in insulin resistance, whereas the CR group was no different than the control. Why such a difference in the outcome? The ADF group and the CR group consumed equal amount of calories during the study. The only difference was in the distribution of the calories. For the CR group, the calories were distributed evenly, whereas for the ADF group, there was a fasting day and a feasting day. This uneven distribution of calories is what allows us to go back and forth between activating AMPK and activating mTOR, and this alternate day fasting method leads to metabolic fitness. The daily calorie restriction method does not yield the same benefit, so now you know which method is better. Thanks for watching. Please like this video to give it more visibility, and don't forget to subscribe. You can support this channel with a Buy Me a Coffee donation to Personal Health Education.